My main objective is to make it go viral in Kuwait. I wasn't expecting it to go viral in the world. This is new. This is incredible. You know, it's a very passionate thing when you have this idea, like just in your mind, like I really want to do this. You don't care about money. You don't care about the viewers. You don't care about anything. It's just I just want to do this.
What's like the most important skill as a director?
For me, the most important thing is pre-planning, pre-production. There are problems that will arise, and it's about how good your problem solving is on set during that. But to minimize the problems you have on set is if you had a really good pre-production. Difficult doesn't mean that you're not having fun, especially in filmmaking. If you're not having fun, you're not going to do a good project. And I say that out of experience. And I think the Al Makan video, the one I did was showing me enjoying filmmaking again as a solo project as well.
A couple weeks ago, I actually covered Mo's video on my Instagram and TikTok, and it absolutely went viral. Not because of me, but because the video is that good. Filmmakers Instagram account reposted it, and also Eye Candy, and it's been making its rounds online. Wild. If you guys want to check out the video breakdown of that video with Mo the filmmaker himself, I actually posted that one last week, and you can find it in the link in my description. And before we actually get to the video itself, I wanted to say thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Uppbeat. They have so many assets that I use on this channel already: motion graphics, sound effects, and the music that you hear throughout these podcasts. So if you guys want to check them out, it's absolutely free with the link in my description or the pinned comment. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get on with this episode. This week has probably been crazy for you, or the last week or 2 weeks. For me, just by covering you, things have gone like people commenting. So I can only imagine where you're at. And then I started noticing filmmakers account, Eye Candy. I was like, oh, all at the same time. It kind of just, you had this one push. How are you feeling right now with like all that stuff?
I mean, I'm overwhelmed. It's an incredible feeling because, to be honest, I think it's every filmmaker's dream to be recognized when he puts in the time and effort and things. It's like you're cradling your own baby when you're doing videos, and then you see all these comments from all these different peoples and all these different accounts, and it's just like a breath of fresh air. You know, it's a new feeling, and it's an incredible feeling. Like I recognize from people in Brazil, from people in Spain, China, the US, from all around the world. I mean, it's a beautiful feeling. I'm enjoying it, to be honest.
Did you know that video was gonna pop off like it did? Because like there's something, I feel like when you make something so good, you're like, oh, this can, as soon as it catches wind, it's gonna take
Yeah.
off. Did you feel like that?
I mean, I, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't anticipating the world to be talking about, like the whole film industry to be talking about video. I was, because when you do a video, you're just thinking about, okay, because my client is in Kuwait, and I was thinking that, okay, my main objective is to make it go viral in Kuwait. That was my own objective and my goal, and that was enough for me, I think, to have it go viral. But I wasn't expecting it to go viral in the world. The project was actually for my brother's restaurant, Al Makan. So when I gave them the idea, I was like, okay, this is kind of a new way of filming a video. So I don't know if it's gonna be good or not good, because I'm just trying out something new. So it might not even work. It might be really bad. I'm not sure. It was all about the execution. Since it went viral in Kuwait, I was happy, and then day by day, it was just going viral in the world, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is new. This is incredible. What's happening?" And then I've got accounts like you, as you said, Eye Candy, filmmakers. I think that was incredible. What's happening towards
Dude,
that video?
it's wild. It's like, it almost feels like all the effort and work, all the learning. Not to say that before
Yeah,
it didn't count, because obviously, you and your production studio have great content, but there's something about when a collective like the internet gets a hold of something, and it's just like, it's
yeah,
like fire almost.
exactly. Yeah,
This video is like a more of like a solo project. You mentioned it in even some of the stories where,
yeah,
shooting and doing all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
You're directing for 2 years prior, right? And like really being
yeah,
the head of that. And
exactly.
then you had this idea. I saw in your story, you're talking about you had
Yeah,
this idea and you didn't know, and then you started doing some shoots. Like, what kind of made you want to try something new? Like, cause that's scary for anyone.
It is. It is. To be honest, I think because, as you said, I've been a director for 2 years now. But before that, I was a filmmaker. So I was, and I still consider myself as a filmmaker as well, not just a director. Because before the 2 years of directing, I was just trying out new ways of filming. So I have a passion for filming. So everything before directing was solo, in terms of that. So it was a way of experimenting. I think that's the way I should put it. As I was experimenting with uh, commercials, like fake commercials, I would do just by myself. I would try out different ways of doing it. So I've always had that thing of experimenting with how I can shoot a video. So when I came up with this idea, it was, I always say it's like an epiphany that hit me, because I was in Chicago at that time, and I was just in bed. I was just scrolling through my laptop, and I'm a very music driven director. I think I would call myself, or a filmmaker. I was just listening to different music. I was watching different videos, and then I just had this idea, because I used to do a lot of match cuts before and videos, but not at this level. So I always loved transitions. I'm always keen on doing transition in my videos. It would just popped up that I wanted to do this video where everything is just, there's this thing, as you covered in your video. You caught it, I think, early, which was really good. That I always wanted to have this, like, I stuck in the middle of the video, and with my love for transitions, I just wanted this video to, each shot to complete each other. So this was just like an initial idea, and then I worked on it a bit more, and that's where I got my brother. He came to me and he was like, "Hey, it's my restaurant's 10-year anniversary. We want to do a video. Could you do something for us?" And I was like, this is perfect. This is extremely perfect. Like the idea I had in my head, this can be true. I mean, I can make it into real, because it was, it's a very passionate thing when you have this idea, like, just in your mind, like, I really want to do this. You don't care about money, you don't care about the viewers, you don't care about anything. It's just, I just want to do this. I really want to do this video. Once I got that project, I was like, okay, this is perfect. And that's where I think I worked on it, and until I was like, okay, this is where I can start doing my videos. That's why on my story I put that I tested out that with my pen. I was just doing like these, or the lid of the pen. I was just trying out the effect, seeing if it's doable or not, and that's, yeah. And then I just started doing the pre-production on it, and that's where it took me.
How long from the idea to when your brother messages you? Is that over a certain period of time?
I think it was like a month.
That's crazy.
I didn't show anyone this, but on my phone, I have like a list of notes. Let me
Oh,
see if I can.
okay.
So this is just me when I'm in shopping, or like I'm at home, and then there's an idea that pops into my head. I just write it down. I just jot it down. When I came up with this idea, it was the longest jot down I've had. So each of them were just like sentences, small paragraphs, and then for that idea, it was just a long, 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 long thing of just me writing down different stuff of,
What?
I don't know.
Is it just
Every time I
is it
come up with
just
that idea, I just write
random? Like random
random
idea?
things.
It could be like
Random, like,
like the
if
shape of food,
yeah,
and you're like, "Oh, this would look good," or just it's just
exactly.
because I saw your sketches, or like it almost looked like a
Yeah,
notebook on your storyboard, and I was
yeah,
like, "This is such a filmmaker's book where it just looks like ideas, just like little drawings here and
yeah,
there." Does that come after that? Like you're jotting that down, and then you start.
yeah.
Oh, wow, what?
This is where the idea started on my phone. So it was just me, like, continuing things. So when I first wrote down the idea, it was completely different to what I came up with. So it was, I mean, I still had that thing that's stuck in the middle, but the way I wrote the idea I had in my head, it was just normal. And that's where I built on it. And I just added sentences. So, and one day you can see me write maybe 3 sentences to it. Oh, I could do this. Oh, I can match cut this between this. Oh, if I do this within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was just adding and adding and adding and adding to these until I got the project for my brother. And that's where I was like, okay, I should build on this. This is where I took it from.
Hold on, wait. So like you had the idea. Did you have ideas of food before your brother came to you with the restaurant? Like it was this what was the thing that you were like writing down that was in the center of every frame before your brother
Uh,
came to you? Was it just,
it
random
was
stuff, or was it actually like what we see in the video, like it's the kitchen and the food and things
No,
like that?
it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was just purely me writing down a center of the viewer should be stuck in the middle of the screen center, locked on. Then I write locked on stabilization. Then I write match cuts that sometimes I have to do a shot that comes from up and then it smashes into something, and then I have to reverse a shot to make it come. It's not food, but it was just like me completing
Wow.
the match cuts before actually doing. I mean, integrating that with the food concept that I had. But it was just me writing down like I wrote down, hey, I should make sure the shutter speed is extremely high so you don't have a lot of motion blur on the video, like things that I had to write down
More
just to
technical.
complete more
Yeah.
technical stuff. Yeah, I would say yeah. And some things were transitions like oh okay I should if there was a ball hitting something, uh maybe make it rotation and then have the rotation rotate on the item but the background is rotating but the item is still center. So these were things that I wrote down just as an idea.
Do you always work like that where your ideas are technical first and then, because I feel like for a lot of people the idea of like the food and stuff would come first, and then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
how do we do this shot? I've rarely heard of anyone who's like, it's like all technical and then boom, it's like, oh, I could do this stuff with your right. Like, is that how you work? Do you work more technical first and then ideation?
To be honest, this was the first time I actually did something like
That's
this.
great.
So yeah, because it was the issue was this with this video is I didn't have an inspiration to go by because I think it was something new for me to create. Like I did have some like references I can go off of, but it was a new way of me trying to create something new in terms of filming how I did the video. So it was let me do the technical stuff first because I'm not sure if I can find something that can relate to the exactly what I'm doing. So I had to be very technical in the beginning because I'm trying to do something new. Because of that idea I had in my mind. So it was very technical, yeah. But in terms of that, yeah, it was the first time for me to be that technical, like doing a month whole thing of just technical things on my phone before actually getting a project. So yeah, it was yeah.
That's
It's the first time
insane.
doing something like that.
Uh, Is it
Yeah.
is this now that you've seen, like, are you gonna kind of go about a lot of your work like that first, like more of a technical aspect, or are you just gonna let it come to you? Like it just felt natural for you to do this. I'm assuming, like you're like, man, I really wanted to do
Yeah,
this and stuff like that. What's the approach
exactly.
now that you've seen like this crazy amount of success that people are enjoying? Does it change your strategy?
To be honest, it might because as I told you, I love to experiment. So this was actually me experimenting with a video as well, which did extremely well. So I've experimented before, and I did fail before. To be honest, with experimental works I've done. So some of them did fail, but I think if you're passionate about something, you don't care if it's you just keep on experimenting. So this was I think a good way of experimenting through my video there, and I always love to experiment. So I think some videos I would still do because as you said, it's this just came out as an idea. So it's not like, hey, do this video. Okay, oh, I have this idea for it. No, it's I had this idea and then the project came and I was like, okay, this is where I can do the video. So it's sometimes it just comes to you and in the weirdest places. So I was about to sleep and that's where it hit me. Probably in the future, I would do that same style, but I do have other ways of going about projects that I work on. So there's different ways of taking projects on.
Man, it's like I didn't want to talk about this video right in the beginning, but we're here because I wanted to talk about all the other stuff. But now that we're talking about other projects, is it different when you're working with your studio, like, and getting clients like that? What's the process there?
With my studio, it's a production house. So we do a production house and a creative agency. So we do come up with the ideas as well with Sharit Studios. And it's me and my partner, Hamoud Al Khamis, who's also a producer. So he's the producer. I'm the in-house director in our production house. So usually we get the brief from a client, and it's different. So we have the like what they want to sell. Let's come up with ideas. Maybe it's a storytelling idea. It's not always like trying out camera techniques with them. So it's okay. We have this brief. okay, how can we sell this product in a good way that viewers would start buying them? So this is where we brainstorm, we come up with different ideas, storytelling ideas, or maybe sometimes transitions as well, if it's on my side as well. So it's just a brainstorming session. So it's different. So the studio style is more like a very rigid step taking process, because you have the client and you can't sometimes, and I wrote that down. Sometimes with the issue with the clients is they love to play it safe. When I'm talking about big corporations, banks, and telecommunications, it's very difficult to tell them that I want to do something new. I want to try this. I want to try this. They're scared of trying new things. They love to play it safe. So that's why the ideas have to be within the limits. But when I work with other clients, which are more local and more youthful, hip kind of things, that's where they love to experiment. They love to try new things. They're ready to take the risks. That's why my process is different with local and youthful clients more than bigger corporations and telecommunication kind of companies.
It goes through so many different people, and it's
Yeah.
like it's so many different hands, as opposed to local almost feels very indie, where it's like, hey, you guys want this? Because I noticed that on your Vimeo and on your website, there's a lot of humor in the videos that you guys do, which is hilarious, and the colors are so I'm like, is that part of the ideation process where you guys sit down when you guys start coming up with stuff? Is humor the number one thing where you're like, okay, this kind of let's kind of enjoy this because it's funny, like some of the stuff that you guys have done.
It depends on the project itself, but I think because when we're selling, we mainly work in Kuwait. When you have comedy, comedy is one of the highest lovable kind of ads in Kuwait. The residents in Kuwait love the humor a lot. So we have humor, emotional and heartwarming videos are the highest that gains reactions and likes and shares. I love working with humor, and as I said, when I'm experimenting, even when I'm doing storytelling, I've worked doing comedy, which I love as well, and sometimes I did work with emotion as well. I love to challenge myself in ways that it's different. So I don't want to repeat the things that I do. So I did humor, and then let me try doing emotion. And when I did emotion, I was trying to grasp how can I do emotion. I've never tried it before, so let me try to do it. And that's where you learn. I think as a director or a filmmaker, it's all about trying new things, because if I keep on doing the same thing, you won't really grow. As I said, the camera technique video that I did with Al Makan, this is me showing off what I've learned as a director and a filmmaker. When I've had the humor videos, it's me showcasing that, okay, I'm growing as a director as well. I can do storytelling. And when I'm doing emotional videos, it's me trying out new ways. And I think with each video is just me learning, because you never stop learning. I think even if you're 20 years old, 50 years old, 80 years old, in this industry, I think you never stop learning, because every video you do is just a stepping stone of you learning from your mistakes, learning how you do it even better. So on all those videos, yeah.
For you personally, after doing these, is doing the more emotional stuff harder, or is the comedy harder?
I think comedy is harder than emotion. Comedy is I don't know, because the way you do storytelling is extremely. I mean, you can wow viewers with camera techniques, which are nice. Storytelling in terms of comedy is you have to. It's so difficult to make them laugh. That's why I always say the hardest job in the world is a stand-up comedian. I till this day I still say that. Standing in front of thousands of viewers and then trying to make them laugh just by a mic, this is
Yeah.
incredibly difficult. So trying to make them laugh with a video is it's challenging, but it's a fun way. I mean, the good thing about us in comparison to a stand-up comedian is us, we have a lot of planning, pre-production, and they do have as well, but they're doing it live. We're actually doing it. Okay, you have shooting and all of that. So the good thing with us is when I'm doing comedy, it's nice to have a good pre-production, trying out different scripts, trying out different ways of filming, because it's not just about the script itself. It's about the camera angle or the shock or the camera movement that you have, the facial emotion the character is giving you. So it's a lot of things that goes into each other that creates comedy and doing it, because if you don't have everything aligned, it can come off as cheap, which I think is why comedy videos are very difficult, is because you don't want the video to come off as really cheap in front of the viewers, in front of the client. So yeah, comedy is difficult, but I think I love working with comedy. I think from my last few ads, I've worked with comedy, and it's something I'm enjoying working on in terms of that, because when you compare it to emotional, emotional is also difficult, but I think it's playing around with lighting when you're talking about emotion. Lighting is a key aspect of creating emotion, I think, as well as, of course, the facial and reactions you want from the character themselves. But lighting is a huge part of emotion, and I think during emotional videos, the DOP is, I wouldn't say more important than the director, but he is as important as the director in that sense, because he needs to show emotion through his lighting as well. So that's why emotional videos have a different take on, or a different route in that way.
I agree with a lot of that stuff. I think comedies are the toughest. Comedians, the improv part, and like you as a director, I almost feel like you have to get it too. You have to like think with the actors, and you guys probably do this when you guys do casting calls, right? You guys have
Exactly.
people, and it's like, okay, this person is funny, or it's like, can this person be funny if they did a different kind of facial feature? And it's like, can you give me that? So it almost feels like the whole team needs to understand what the comedy is for it to really
Exactly.
be believable on screen. Because if one person doesn't think so, like even if the actor doesn't think so, it's like, man, you might not nail it at all, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Because as you said, actors are a huge part, or the main part, because you don't want to, as I said, you don't want to come off as cheap. And there are some actors which are incredible actors. They're good comedy. Like in terms of comedy, they're really good when we do casting calls. But some videos, it's not just about how good you are acting, but the personality or the look of the person can sell off that comedy in that sense. So I've had actors that I've brought in which are incredibly good at comedy, but when I've seen them, I'm like, okay, but you're not right for the role, because of, I need a person who's maybe a bit more awkward. And in that sense, the role is, he might even not be a good actor, but the awkwardness he has works incredibly well with what I want to achieve. So it's as you said, casting call is important in terms of comedy and acting, because of that kind of thing, and as well, personality plays a huge role in it. Maybe a person that you want is extremely thin, or whose facial, his mustache is different in terms of that. The person, the girl has a different hairstyle. So these small details help hugely, I think, in the way comedy is portrayed in the video that you have for the characters you have for that role.
What's like the most important skill as a director?
For me, the most important thing is pre-planning, pre-production, because once you have a good pre-production, it makes the shoot so much easier. Because I think we've all worked in production sets, and there are problems that will arise, and it's about how good your problem solving is on set during that. But to minimize the problems you have on set, as if you had a really good pre-production. Everyone's aligned: the stylist, the art director, the DOP, the producer, the production manager. So if everyone is aligned and everyone knows exactly what they're doing at the specific time, it's easier for me, because I love to come in to the set knowing exactly what I want to do in terms of also the camera movements and the lenses, and as I said, all of those things, because I think everyone would agree the main enemy we have during the shoot on set is time. So you have a specific time that you need to shoot the video, and if you surpass the time, sometimes you're working with budget, so you don't have enough budget to go over time and all that. So you have to minimize those problems. So if you have a good pre-production, your set time is going to be as you say in the call sheet. And for me, as I said, the pre-production is the most important part for me to make sure everyone is aligned, to make sure we don't have those issues on set themselves.
You mentioned that you missed working on solo projects, like
Yeah.
before you did, before the video that came out. Um, what made you miss it? Going from directing for 2 years and having a crew and doing all this, you know,
Yeah.
because you'd probably still do pre-production, but then pre-production with the crew, is crazier than pre-production with, okay,
It
me
is.
and my. So what made you miss it?
I missed it because I was a filmmaker before I was a director. So I started from, I think my first camera was a Sony A6300, and before that, I was actually filming with my phone. So it was just a phone filmmaking. So it was just me starting out, and then I moved on to the A6300, which was a very small DSLR, and then I slowly built up to the Black Magic, and then to other things. So when I started doing the solo projects, when I first started out, the sky is the limit. There are no limitations. No one can tell you no, don't do that. No one can tell you, oh no, the brand guidelines or the this cannot work, or and you can't really do this. I think when my name first came out in the region, in Kuwait, and let's say maybe in Saudi and Qatar and the UAE, Bahrain, Oman, so in the GCC area, um, it was me. It was during Corona, and it was just me because I was bored as hell. And during Corona, I got bored of FIFA. I got bored of PlayStation and Call of Duty and playing all those games. And I was like, you know what? There's no projects right now. Let me make myself even better. So I had this like 2 by 2 small room in our house. Sorry, 2 meters by 2 meters. I was like, let me just create fake commercials. Let me do that thing. So it was me just doing whatever I wanted, whatever I had in my head. I did like this Coca-Cola commercial, and this was the first time that I went viral, I think. In our region is me creating that Coca-Cola fake Coca-Cola commercial, and it was just me getting inspiration off the internet and trying out different ways of shooting this cola and doing transitions and shooting like a green screen kind of thing. And I enjoyed it so much because I had this passion inside me of filmmaking, of trying, and I keep saying this word, experimenting with videos. And it was just me with no limits, trying out different ways, doing a lot of mistakes. And everyone who's asking me is, how did you get how did you become good at editing and all that, is mistakes. And when you do solo projects and there's no limits, is you can do as many mistakes as you can, as much mistakes that you can do. And mistakes really did help me in terms of editing, in terms of filming. I didn't know how to do shutter speed and shutter angles and exposure and aperture and all of that. I was just experimenting and doing mistakes with them, and that's where I got to knowing that. So when I did these solo projects, is I didn't have limitations, as I said. So when I got into directing, it was incredible. It was a huge boost for me because I didn't know that I was gonna be a director. I didn't put it in the plan. To be honest, I didn't have it in my future plans that I was gonna be a director, but it just happened. Like a production house or a creative agency, who are my friends. I love them. In Kuwait, they're called the Bus Stop. So they approached me. They love my videos, the ones I did as a solo project, and they saw that, okay, yeah, you have a good eye in videos. How about you direct a commercial for us? And that's where they got me into the directing world. And I was like, oh, wow, I can work with these budgets. I can work with the crew. I have a stylist. I have the effects. I have, and all of these. So that's where I enjoyed it. And then I was directing a lot. And there are commercials where I enjoy doing. But there's a lot of commercials which are corporate commercials that have a lot of limitations in terms of their brand guidelines, in terms of their cultural aspect that we cannot surpass, or limitations that, okay, you can't really do this, you can't really wear that, you can't really do these kind of things. And the 2 years I've had, some projects were amazing, and some projects are like, okay, I just have to do this project, and it's not me showing who I really am as a director. That's why when I did this video after 2 years, I was like, I have this idea in my head, and this is really me. This is really Mohammed Al Nashmi. Like I love these transitions that I've worked so hard as a director and as a filmmaker. Let me do this video of showcasing what I learned as a director and what I did as a filmmaker, putting them all together in a solo project kind of thing. That's why I say I miss solo projects, is because I can do what I want. To be honest, I can do what I want without the limitations I have from clients and from like different board members and different people.
It almost makes you feel like a kid again, you know? Like,
So
uh,
that's so true. That's so
right?
true. Yeah,
Where you're like,
that's
it's like
true. True.
no one's gonna tell me like this is like, even if it is not right or ugly, it's like, no one can,
Yeah,
like, I can do it. How
I can
long
look here.
how long was it? Oh, like when was it when you picked up your phone and started filming till now? How many years is that?
Beginning of 2017, let's say, was when I picked up my phone and
Wow.
started filming. Yeah. So it was just me filming. I think in 2017, and it was just my phone. I think I bought my first camera was in 2018. So that was the A6300, and my first client was actually, yeah, maybe mid 2018, I would say, in that sense.
Wow.
So mid 2018 was my first client. Who was a very small shoot, and was something I was actually unpaid shoot was when I had that client, and it was, I remember, for a gym, I think, or something like that. Yeah, it was just me trying out different ways and then shooting, and it was like, when I look back, oh, it was a horrible video, but I mean, that's what you have to start somewhere, you know. You have to
You
start,
have to.
and
You
it's
have
okay.
to.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
I feel like a lot of people need that. They see what you do
Yeah,
now, and they're either like, even comment on my video is like, man, I just started doing video work, and it's like now I want to quit.
yeah.
This has been like
This is a
8 years.
process.
Yeah, it's 8 years. You have to do,
It's
and you
yeah,
went through COVID,
exactly.
and you did. So that's why I feel
Yeah.
like people need to see like, oh, okay, his first videos kind of look like mine.
Yeah, exactly. And
Maybe
it was yeah, they were they were bad videos, and I'm not ashamed of saying it, because
they have to
it's
be.
you have to, yeah, you have to, because it's new to you. It's in the beginning it's a hobby, and once you get into the hobby, you're not going to do something good in the beginning, because you don't know how the camera works, you don't know how editing works, but you're starting somewhere, and I when I look back, if hopefully I have those videos, but when I look back, it's, you see that, okay, I started to learn in this video. I started to learn how to do probably an edit, or this video. Okay, I was trying something, it didn't work out, but I see that I did this effort in this specific scene. It's good to have bad videos. I think our day and age, social media, it made a person so self-conscious about what they put out, and what they do. So and I'm not ashamed of saying that I was going through that as well. I was scared of putting out the videos that I did. I was like, oh no, but I've seen this commercial which was much better than mine, and it was so much better. But so that means I'm not doing something good. Is my videos good? Are they doing good? I don't know if I did something good. Be proud of what you're doing. I think that's the main thing, is be proud of your journey. And I think I wrote that during my in my last video, the Al Makan video, is the good thing about where you arrive is your journey that you took. And it's, the journey is difficult. It should be difficult. It's not easy. Difficult doesn't mean that you're not having fun, especially in filmmaking. If you're not having fun, you're not going to do a good project. And I say that out of experience, because I did videos where I wasn't motivated. I was like, I'm just going to do anything. So you do it, and then you're like, oh, I didn't do a good job, but that was because I wasn't having fun. But have fun with the videos. That's, I mean, this is so important to be having fun. And I think the Al Makan video, the one I did, was showing me enjoying filmmaking again as a solo project as well.
You may have seen this video floating around the internet over the last couple of weeks. It's been going absolutely viral. I reacted to it, filmmakers posted it on their Instagram, and also eye candy. Today we're actually breaking it down with the filmmaker himself,
Mohammed Al Nashmi.
and it's actually wild what he did. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys do, please subscribe and share this with anyone you think would enjoy it. All right, let's get to the video breakdown. We'll watch it one time
Okay.
through, and then I'll have questions about
Sure.
it.
We met, we thought, studied, we taught, we boiled, we cut, we burnt, construct. We opened, we cracked, sold, we smashed, create, they ate, expanded, we baked. We cooked, some more. Focused, we worked, we thought, we burnt, developed, we grew, we stamped, we flew, continue, improve, discover, we move, and let the magic happen.
the rhythm of it. What was first? Was it the music? Was it the voiceover? How did that rhythm come?
As I told you before, I'm a very music-driven director or filmmaker. So especially for this project, as I said, I had this idea, I jotted down everything. And then I knew that I wanted to do a video that had music, shots, voiceover, and sound effects that all blended in together. So in order to do that, I had to have the first thing that I needed to do was find the music for it. This was me just it took about 2 weeks to find this music. And when I'm saying 2 weeks, it took a long time to find this music. So 2 weeks, I was just trying out different things I was finding online. I remember when I first heard this music, I was like, this is the one. And I wanted that feeling for myself. I needed that feeling where I was like, okay, this is it. I needed to have that because I knew this was the most important thing, because I was going to base off the whole concept of this commercial was going to be the music. So I heard some music which were decent, which were good, but it didn't give me like, oh, I can imagine it. It didn't give me that feeling. When I heard this, this was I think his name was Harry Lightfoot, Heir to the Throne. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, because it had a very nice and a cadence, or like it had a very nice pace to it. I knew my video had to have 3 segments. It had to have a slow beginning, a faster middle, and then I need to have a chaotic end. I knew my chaotic end had to have music which was extremely powerful. So I needed something that resembled that in the music itself. And this music was incredible. It was perfect for me because it had a soft beginning, a slow beginning, but it had a very nice tune to it. And then a faster middle, and then an extremely fast and chaotic end to it. So that the first thing was the music when I had this the video.
As you can see, music plays a huge part in any filmmaker's career, just like with Mo and his viral video. So if you guys are looking for copyright-free music, please check out Uppbeat, the sponsors of today's video. They have thousands of tracks that you can choose from, all copyright-free, and you can actually even sign up for free. Just use the link in my description or the pinned comment, and you guys can start making your viral videos today. All right, let's get back into the breakdown. Did you trim any of the music? Like, did you sharpen it up or like cut pieces out to like tighten it up a little bit to get it to exactly the amount of time you wanted?
So just to give you a background of the project, when my brother talked to me, so he first told me that we are doing a 10-year anniversary, and his restaurants are incredible. So he was like, we're doing this 10-year anniversary and we have to do something good. But when he first gave it to me, he was like, we want to do a 20-minute documentary just of us talking and all of that. So they wanted a documentary for it. And when I told you I had this idea, and I thought that this project is this is perfect for this project. And a 10-year anniversary, you need to have something that basically resembles that 10-year anniversary and showcases it. When I sat down with him and his partners, they were like, yeah, we want 20-minute documentary. And I was like, guys, I will not take this project if I didn't do this video the way I want to do it. It's risky, but don't do a 20-minute documentary. It will not work. You want something that showcases what you were doing for the 10 years. And I told them that, let me do what you guys did in all 10 years, all within 1 minute and I think 20 seconds, or 1 minute, 22 seconds. So I told them, no one's going to watch the 20-minute documentary, but let me do something that people might watch within the 1 minute, 22 seconds. In the beginning, they were skeptical. They were like, no, we still want to do a documentary because there's a lot of things that happened. But I told them, no one watches 20-minute documentary right now.
Yeah.
So that's where I tried. So I'm very close with my brother, Faisal. And I was like, Faisal, believe me, let me do, because I've had this idea. Let me do it. I think this is perfect for this project. Let me do this project. Let me do exactly what I want to do. So he's like, okay, give us like kind of a plan for it and all of that. When I searched for the music, I trimmed it to 1 minute 22. I did like kind of a pre-production on it. I did the music, and I told them of what I still didn't have a storyboard for it, but I was like, you gotta believe me. So this is gonna be the music. It's 1 minute 22. I have my light beginning in the beginning of the video, and then it gets faster, and then it's just gonna be chaos, because that's what you did in Kuwait, because his restaurants are incredible. They went very, very big. They have a lot of branches and all that. So they're doing incredibly well. And that chaos that I wanted to show is what they're doing in Kuwait, and probably in the GCC area, is they're going very big. Everyone knows them, and I wanted to showcase that as the power they now have in Kuwait in terms of the restaurant business. So when I tried to tell them, and it's extremely difficult to
Yeah.
try to explain
Yeah,
it to them because I have this idea in my head, but it's
for
so
sure.
difficult to tell them what it was gonna happen. So I I was just like, guys, just trust me. I will. It's risky. I told them it's gonna be extremely risky, but I have this idea. I just want to do it. I just want to do this video. And I think because my brother and his partners as well, because I've done videos before, and they love my videos as well. So they're like, okay, we won't do the 20-minute documentary, because I also told them, if this video doesn't work out, we'll do the 20-minute documentary. I will do
Uh,
that. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But let me do this. Let me do this video. You won't regret it. So yeah, that's when I did the video of the music to 1 minute 22. I made them listen to the music because my brother is also very creative. So when he listened to the music, he was like, I was telling him, okay, this is where's the chaos. He tried to envision it, and that's where I sold the idea. I think the music really helped me sell the idea to them in terms of
Wow.
that.
Wow, that the
Yeah,
music really sold that. And also
yeah,
trust me is a crazy way to to tell someone to really believe.
yeah.
Like good thing it was your brother
It
and it
is.
was like and like that he's a little creative because trust me to someone who's not creative is
Yeah,
it's a whole other thing. It's like god
yeah. No.
damn.
Because
Wow.
yeah, his partner, his one of his partner, and he's a incredible guy. He's more of a business side of it, so
Mhm.
he didn't want to do the video on the way I want to do it. He really wanted to do the documentary, and the issue was I told him, okay, I might do the documentary after if it didn't do well. Is if I did that 20-minute documentary, I would have to pay for my money for it to do that 20-minute documentary. So I was risking me
Uh
paying a lot of money to do that documentary for them. Yeah, but as you said, it was difficult for me saying trust me, because even when I
you have
said
a
trust me,
track.
to be honest, yeah, but I just had a track, and that was it.
Yeah, you're like, hey
And
guys, I got music and I got faith right now.
yeah, exactly. Just trust me, man. Just trust me.
That's gotta be
My
your
mind is
tagline
going
now.
crazy.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. How
Yeah,
do they
yeah.
feel?
So
How
it
do they
was.
feel about it now? Like, have you talked to your brother? Have you talked to the
t-
partners?
It's.
What's the
I think.
verdict?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I don't have to say anything. It went because we just wanted to go. I mean, viral in Kuwait, but I mean, they've seen that there now. Al Makan's name is because the video went viral in the film industry, but still, when people are talking about the video, and I told my brother Faisal, I was like, the good thing is a lot of people they're not saying Mo your video, they're saying the Al Makan video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was so happy that the name of the video stuck to the video. It's not Mohammed Al Nashmi's video, it's Al Makan's video. So it went internationally viral. So people are in the US, in Brazil, and all around the world, they're seeing the Al Makan video. And I told Faisal, and he was so happy that their name is now went international with the video itself. So they, I mean, they
Yeah.
when you're paying for a video, in our day now, the main thing for success, one of the key, I think, one of the most important things is it going viral. So when you have it going viral internationally, I think that means it's a successful video, and they were extremely happy with it. They were so happy with the video
Oh my
itself.
gosh. And you also had to film on their off hours, no? Like overnight. Did you mentioned that I think and I
I
read it
think,
somewhere.
yeah. So
Like
that's
between like 11 and like 7 in the morning or something like that.
yeah,
God
yeah. So
damn. But you can't
it's
take
I
business
think
away from
if
them, right?
yeah, I can't really take because it's I had to bring in my camera because I rented lights, I rented the camera, I had to do a lot of things. I needed their chefs to be on there. But I think that's the main thing. If I didn't have the passion for that specific idea that I had in mind, I wouldn't have done it like going after hours. So I had to come in at 10:30 at night and leave at 7 in the morning because they start working at 7 in the morning. So it was extremely exhausting, the most exhausting project I've worked on. But I think, as I said, if I didn't have the passion and the motivation to do that idea, I wouldn't have been able to continue with the project. But it was difficult. I'm not gonna
Oh.
say it was easy. It was extreme because it was this was the most detailed project I've ever done in my life. So everything had to be exactly how I've written it. Not just that I'm going between these early hours to 7 a.m., working between these hours early morning. I had to be very up and aware and ready to shoot because, as you've seen the video, there's a lot of things going off of the music. They had to be exactly how. So I couldn't really doze off. I couldn't be really tired for it. I had to be really awake. And the issue is I'm not a coffee drinker, and I don't drink Red Bull, and
Oh.
I don't drink.
So you're just
So
going
it
off
was difficult.
faith. You're just like,
Exactly. Faith, and I'm trying to make the motivation push me through it. And it was, I think the motivation really helped me stay up during those hours.
That's how many
So
days?
yeah,
How many days was it? Did you actually
it was
run this?
5 days, 5
5 days.
consecutive days.
God damn.
Yeah, so 5 days I had to work within those hours.
When they're doing the actions, some of these
Yeah.
actions, are you playing the music in the background so people can kind of get into the mood and the movement?
The video, there are pieces of the music where it's just done, done, which needed just one shot, but there are shots that require two actions to have. So you hear like this shot,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah,
so
we'll
this
play it.
shot,
Studied, we taught, we boiled,
Because
Exactly.
some
So-
there's 2 beats and then others it's 1 beat.
yes, sir, exactly. So for that knife shot that completed the rotation, there was actually 3 actions. So the knife cut had to be on the done, and then the
studied, we taught.
Oh, and then the up.
So yeah, so there's 3 actions is done, done, done. So they all had to go. The first hit, the second. So as you hear the music, done, done, done. So I had to play it back when I was filming, and especially that knife shot because the chefs there, some of them didn't have the music ear, as I say, so they're not very musically. So it's difficult for them to catch the beat. So even when I played it back, it was difficult for them to know that, okay, done, done, done. So
Wow.
it was very specific. So there are some things I had to, especially this shot was very difficult because I had to repeat it. I did this shot multiple times until I got it off the beat, and I did some speed up in
Speeding
the
up.
edit
Yeah,
just
I
to
was gonna
go off
ask
of
about that.
yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
to
yeah.
kind of
To
cut you. No. How many shots? How
Yeah,
many
yes.
times? How many takes is this? You have of like a
think-
shot like this.
This was around maybe 28 or 27 shots
Jeez. To get it
try
like perfect.
to
Yeah.
do that.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
to get it perfect. Yeah, yeah. That's why most of the shots I had to play the music on set because, as I said, this was a good example. Is you had the actions have to go off of the music. So as I said, dun dun dun. You have the first action, second action, third action. It's not just about doing the action and like a beauty shot. It has to be
Yeah.
specifically very detailed to the music to make it work.
Yeah, that's why I felt like you would have to play like music videos, when you play the music
Yeah.
so they can get on it. I feel like you would have to do that because everything has to
Exactly.
be so pinpoint on the actual
Exactly.
on the actual beat. Damn, what was the hardest
Yeah.
shot of this whole thing that you had to do?
To be honest, they were all hard shots.
Oh, yeah?
Because of how, because this was one example of me doing the 27 takes. Another thing is I had to edit on set. So
Yeah,
the
that's
the other
crazy.
the difficult thing is after each shot that I did, I had to do like a quick edit. So I had to film, remove the memory card, put it on. This was the first project that I edited on DaVinci Resolve. So I had this was the first project that I used markers on the edit. So I had the music and I had markers of exactly the duration of each clip for each scene. That shot I had to put it and then put it in between those both markers to see if they fit the duration of my
Yeah.
shot.
So the markers were on the timeline. You're on the
They were already on the timeline, yeah. So I had the
Wow.
markers already on the timeline. I had to check that they fit the duration. Sometimes I need to speed up because sometimes when you speed up to maybe 120%, 125, it shows that you sped it up. So it's not a nice effect to see when you speed it up. So yeah. So there's a specific, let's say, limit to how much you can speed up before it looks that it's sped up.
Yeah, before you could kind of see
So that's
that
why I
blur.
had to
Mm.
exactly. That's why you had to do it. And as it's a good place you stopped on this shot because also this shot took a lot of time as well because you had to hit.
Create,
Wow.
So you had to hit. You had two actions. You had to hit, and
And
then
then
he
the
had to
turn.
move at exact time.
Oh, because there's like
And
there's
there's
also a beat where there's a pause and then the turn.
yeah,
It's not like he's just going
exactly.
like that. That is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And the shot before that, there was also three motions to it.
That's
So you
fun.
can see my hand. I think a problem with the shot is I used my because as you can see, I had my Apple Watch on there. I ruined the thing that I kept my watch. I should have removed it in the shots.
Yeah.
So it was my hand. So
Oh,
it's
this is
easier when
your
I was doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you
It
know,
was
because you
easier when
know.
I was because I know the shots that I want. So I turned, I pushed, and then he had to hit off of that last beat. So it was just please try to hit it off of the last beat. And he kept on messing up, and we had to redo the food itself. So that took a lot of time. So you
Oh, I
had to
didn't
cook
even
it
think
again.
about that.
Yeah, so you had to cook it again, and then I had to wait. And then that's why the shoot took a lot of time, 5 days, is because there were food when they're ruined and I didn't get it correctly, he had to redo it. And they can't really do a lot of food because that's expenses on them. So we had to I had to wait, he had to do the food again, and then we start and shoot again. That's why this shot took a lot of times to do because he kept on messing up the last hit. He had to redo the food as well. So yeah,
Dude,
that's another
that's
thing.
insane that I didn't think about in like the food if it was ruined. And then because
Yeah,
in my head I'm like, oh, you probably would just make enough, but then like you said, let's say you get it in one shot. Now they just wasted whatever the
exactly.
ingredients. Ah,
Yeah. So that's why the shoot took 5 days because it was extremely difficult in terms of timing and all of those. Yeah.
so I'm just trying to visualize after you had this idea of doing this, having everything in the center. How did you go
Yeah.
about visualizing the storyboard and what was actually in the shots? Were you like,
Yeah.
okay, this circle shape is roughly, or was it just everything had to be in the center, and then let me go into the restaurant and let me kind of jot down some of the things that you guys have? Is that like how do you visualize a storyboard at that point?
The first thing that I did was, as I said, because it's a 10-year anniversary video, it's difficult when I'm saying I'm trying to showcase what they did in 10 years within a minute and 20 seconds. That's where I came up with the idea of the voiceover being one worded. So usually voiceovers, you try to put as much information as you can in a voiceover so you can get your message across. But I was like, okay, the music I had, it was so powerful in each beat that you heard. So dun, and the beat that it had was so powerful that I was like, how can I put 10 years in 1 minute and 20? I can't really say the whole thing. But when I heard the music, I was like, let me do one worded voiceovers. So it was telling a story that they met, they thought about the brand, they studied, they taught. So it was teaching the chefs. So it was showcasing their story just by one word because that's how I can get the message across in a minute and 20. And I thought it was so good because it was when I heard the music, I was like, I wanted the voiceover to be part of the whole video. And I think the main thing for this video is everything was a priority. So everything was primary. There was nothing secondary. So the music was a primary thing on for me, a primary key
Mm.
point. The voiceover was a primary key point. The visuals were a primary key point. The sound effects were a primary. So all of them, there was nothing secondary. So usually when you do videos, you might have the music as a secondary or a tertiary or a third kind of option kind of thing. You put it in the background. But all of these had to be all related to each other. So that's why the one worded voiceovers were part of it, and that gave the story, and that provided me the thing to visualize the storyboard. So
Mm.
once as I said, they met, they thought, they studied, they taught. So it's just going off of their story. And once I had the voiceover, so the first thing that I wanted to do is I told them that's one worded, but I also wanted to be rhyming. So I think that made it even better to have that rhyming aspect within the voiceover itself. Because we also did the both Arabic and English version. Is once you have the rhyming, you made it kind of a music. Like
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
like just the same as that. A lot of people were saying, and I read a lot of comments was it's ASAP Rocky's
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. That's what I
praise
got.
the Lord. And to be honest, when I first did it, I didn't have it in mind. But because I remember when I finished the video, I showed it to my friend who's a DOP. He was like, "Oh, the video is incredible," and I love the reference of ASAP
ASAP
Rocky's
Rocky?
"Praise the Lord," and yeah, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? Wow, that's actually the same." But I didn't have it in mind to be like the ASAP Rocky, although I
Yeah.
love the song as well. So
Same. That's crazy. I didn't realize
so
it until
yeah,
people talked about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it has
exactly, yeah.
that thing." Wow.
That same thing, yeah. So yeah, once I had that voiceover, I wanted to be rhyming. I wanted to be part of the video. Once I put their story, one worded voiceover, rhyming, that's where I visualized the storyboard. With putting the each voiceover had its own shot.
So for the voiceover,
Yeah.
did you come up with it? Like you wrote it and you sat down and you're like, "Oh, these are all the words I want to do."
Yes. So when I came up with the voiceover, so I and the book that I had where I was brainstorming the project. The thing that I did is I just went on thesaurus online and I tried to find, for example, teaching. I wrote teaching, so I couldn't use teaching. When I put in thesaurus, I thought taught. So okay, taught works extremely well. So it was just me jotting down many different words of their story and then using thesaurus to find the best word
Wow.
that relates to that, to make it rhyming, to and the voiceover to make it have a nice audio in terms of that. So yeah, each voice had to be changed, had to find synonyms for them and all of that just to make it work and go off of that rhyming beat.
So did you have the script and the voiceover prior to shooting? Like you kind of
Yes.
knew? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So
So it was
all of the audio was done before shooting.
so everything was done before shooting. The sequence was I was did the music, and then I did the voiceover script, and then I did my shot list of the shots that I wanted, and then I did the call sheet for myself, and then the shot. And sorry, the I actually did the. This was the first time that I did the sound effects before actually shooting the video, and
Oh.
it was weird for me, but I needed to do the sound effects before was because, as I said, the sound effects go with the music, go with the voiceover. So as you can hear, the sound effects, they start with the first beat. So when I put the sound effects, I knew that okay, the knife had to go in a way, the pencil moving, the way I moved the mug. So it was the first time for me actually doing the sound effects. Of course, but when I finished and doing the post, there were some
Tweaks.
tweaking and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, of course. But it
What?
was the first time I've ever done the sound effects before I shot the video.
Studied, we taught, we boiled, we cut, we burned.
That is crazy that you did the sound
Yeah.
effects before. Like, no, that's so. You're
Yeah.
like you planned it so like so meticulously, and that it just
Yeah.
probably the easiest part was like just shooting it and putting it together. Like I feel like
Yeah.
because you
Yeah,
planned it.
exactly. Yeah. It
What?
had to be. So yeah, so usually when you shoot a video, I think especially for food, sometimes you just do beauty shots and okay, I can do beauty shots to fill in some gaps to add if I had a gap in the music. For this specific video, I could not shoot any beauty shot because I had to be exact to my shot list and true to my shot list and could not defer or do something else because it wouldn't make sense to the video because there's a lot of match cuts happening.
And the beauty
So
shots would
yeah,
just. I feel like it would take away from it. This is so
yeah,
different. It's so different. It's like the food isn't the main character. That's why it's like the story. The actual story is the main character. So
exactly.
beauty
Yeah,
shots, I
yeah,
felt like wouldn't. Oh man.
yeah. Wouldn't work. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it had to be extremely detailed. I had to do a lot of homework. That's why this was the longest. Even though I'm working as a director and with a crew, and we do pre-productions and all of that. But this project was the biggest pre-production I've ever done by myself because I needed to finish my homework and my pre-production to the tiniest detail before the shoot, just to make sure that it works.
From when you had that idea, and then your brother messaging you till posting, how long was that?
From my brother talking to me until the day of the shoot, it took around, I think, maybe around 2 months. Around 2 months working on the pre-production, maybe a month and 25 days, a month and 20 days, something
Wow,
like that.
just pre-production.
The reason why I'm saying it took a lot of time because it needed to be, as I said, very detailed. And I did the sound effects before, and I did
Yeah.
the shot list, and because I think my shot list was 112 shots that I had, so I had to think about what props I needed, what the action. So I had to write down what the action was, the duration time that I had, the music that I had to link it with, what exact dish that I had. So I had to sit down with my brother, and because I didn't know the whole item menus that he had, so I was like, okay, I had this voiceover that he says crack, but I told him I don't want to use the egg because I have an egg shot later. What else do you have a crack? So he was like, oh, we have a sourdough that cracks. So so I had to sit down with him to get these different things that I
Yeah.
wrote down. There was a lot of work.
Yeah,
There was
yeah, yeah.
a lot of work
Even
before that.
way
Yeah.
more than even I knew it was a lot of work, but this is even way more than I thought. Like I didn't think of that. The cracking of the
Yeah.
sourdough is
Yeah.
that's genius.
When I first wrote crack, you would think egg
Egg.
in the
Yeah.
beginning, and I had egg in the beginning, but because I used egg later, I had this egg shot in my mind where it cracks,
This
which I
one.
had it later in this. Yes, exactly, this one. Yeah,
Is this
so
the only
that's
VFX
why.
shot that you have in here?
Yes, that's the
God.
only one.
And this is
Because
what you
to be
imagined
yeah,
in your head? You imagined
yeah,
this the
y-
exact shot?
the crack, because this crack shot. To be honest,
Yeah, that's
I didn't want this video to have VFX. So the crack shot, it took me maybe 6 hours. I was trying to do it practically. So I
yeah.
tried to do it different ways. So I had an idea of cutting the back of the egg and then having a toothpick where I just cracked it in front. I tried ways of cracking it by hand. It was 6 hours that I didn't use, to be honest. I used like
Hold on. 6 hours for
uh
the egg crack for just
the
this?
egg crack. Yeah, I was trying different ways of doing the egg crack.
It's so-
I had like a half a day of just me doing ways, and it didn't work out. I couldn't do it.
Dude, at least you
Then I
tried
was
it.
like, you know what? Yeah,
Experiment. Right?
and it was yeah. It took a lot of time just trying out different ways. I
God
think when you're
dang.
saying the most difficult shot, this was the most difficult shot, and
That
it
wasn't
didn't
even in
even
it.
get in the video. And it wasn't even in the video. Yeah,
And
that's why
people
I
wouldn't
had to.
notice. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I had to
nuts.
give up, and that's why I went with the VFX. But the shot itself, there was an egg. The egg was shot, but it was just adding the VFX of the
Of
crack.
the crack.
That's where I got
Oh yeah.
help
Because I was like, the
from
texture looks
help from
great.
friends.
Like of this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's where I got help from a friend just for this to help me do the VFX on this shot. Yeah, but yeah, that was the longest shot. Yeah, I got, and it didn't even get in the video. But yeah,
Dude, that's
yeah,
insane, actually.
yeah.
And all the lighting setups, like, did you have a specific? Was that also planned too? Like, you knew how you were lighting each part of the restaurant or the food, or was that kind of more run and gun, or like more like off the cuff?
More run and gun. I think that was a bit more flexible
Yeah, yeah,
in that sense, because usually lighting you see on set what looks good. I'm not the best in lighting, but I think I got better at it when I'm seeing working as a director, when I see my DOP usually lighting setups and all that. So I got a little bit of experience.
Do you have a favorite shot from this?
I think I have my favorite sequence, not my
Yeah, yeah.
favorite shot.
Okay.
So my favorite sequence was when I first started the chaos
Oh, like
shots. There was this thing after the eye when the music picked up suddenly. Then I had this sequence of everything moving downwards. This shot I had where match cuts of everything moving
the
downwards,
movement.
downwards. And then I had this thing, and I'm very proud of, because I felt like I came up with was because I was moving, everything was going downwards. I came up with the name of having a slingshot. So everything was moving downwards, and I had this shot with the ladle going down where I had the movement of something going down and back up. So it
And
was
then
like kind of a slingshot of having everything going down and then back up. So it's kind of like a sling. From the top, everything was going down. So here, here, and then I
oh
hit, and this
here.
is the ladle going in
Oh,
and then
and then the
back up.
burger.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then I matched cut it with the burger, and then the burger fell down again. Then had to go back to the hammer to do that. So then, yeah,
And even that turn. There's like just so much movement.
yeah. So everything had to go make sense in terms of action direction. They had to go the same direction, and that's when I said that my favorite sequence was going from down, 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 and then the ladle was going down and back up. So it was all going in the same direction of match cuts, everything hitting, and then going to the next shot, to the next shot, to the next shots, and then the ladle going in gave me the reverse direction, which is going down and then back up, and that's where I match cut with the burger. So the whole video had to go in the same direction of each shots
Yeah. That's what made
in
it.
terms of
That's
that.
like another extra layer to it that makes it
Yeah.
like feel good. Wow.
Yeah. The items that I used were also pre-planned. So even in that shot, when I was going down and then there was this like honeycomb kind of thing, I wanted to use that. When I first wrote it, I was like, okay, the honeycomb, there was a drink. So I was like, okay, the honeycomb, and then I'll do like a pizza dough falling. But then I loved how it looked, the honeycomb itself. So I was like, let me do the drink falling and then me
Um,
dropping the honeycomb to match cut even in a different way. So if you see, yeah,
yeah.
I was placing each shot after each other, just overlaying each shot over them. So at least it's easier on the eye to have it in
Yeah.
the middle. That's why each shot I have to put each shot over each other just to make sure that the shot after it and the one before it all were in the same position and try to have the same size as the
Yeah.
shot after, to make it easier on the eye, to make the match cut look even better
Did you
in
have a
terms of
set
that.
distance when you shot, roughly, like when you're shooting a
Yeah.
lot of these? And then you had to, I'm assuming maybe you had to scale it in or scale it out a little bit just to match it a little bit. But for the most part, you knew you had this like, okay, we got 3 or 4 feet from the top of this desk or from the kitchen table or whatever. It's kind of how you
Yeah.
measured it. Yeah.
Yes, people were shocked when I told them that this video was on a tripod. So the whole video was static. I shot it on a Red 8K. I had to shoot it on a high resolution camera. So I shot the whole video on 8K because I knew my movement, because I've done it before. I had experience. I love shooting with 8K because I love doing movement in post. So I think that's where people were shocked with it, because all the movements, I think, par a couple of ones. So these shots were all post. Everything was post. I was just moving the focus to have it to try to keep the focus on the item when there's movement on it. But everything was static. The lens, the camera was static, either on a mini crane or on a tripod, and everything was done in post in terms of movements. But as you said, the distance from lens to the
Tabletop
item
or
itself,
whatever.
yeah, it had to be similar in terms of that, because some items were bigger than the shot before it. So I had to compensate for that by moving my
Mm.
lens even further, because
Yeah. That
I
makes
can't really
sense.
have, yeah, the shot of, let's say, a pizza dough, which is huge, and then let's say a honeycomb, which is smaller. So you had to compensate for that. So I had to push my camera even further up uh,
Yeah.
to make the sizes the same when
Was
I
it
do it
different
in
focal
post.
lengths that you had, or did you keep it all kind of at or f-stop? Sorry.
I had to change in a couple, but pretty much they had to stay, yeah, the same. So at least I keep the same, let's say, mood to the video. The lens I used in pretty much a lot of shots was 12 millimeter Laowa lens. So the good thing about the 12 mil is, even when the distance changes, it keeps it in focus. So you're still good. It's when I flip to the 24 mil or 35 mil is where you had to like change the focus, and I had to do it like really quickly, and I had to repeat it a couple of times. These things are just me trying out different ways, and I think being a filmmaker before is me trying out these different things. I tried doing focus, I tried doing DOPing, I tried lighting, I tried directing. So I had these experiences before filmmaking. This really helped me with shoot, was because I had this experience. I'm not the best, and I'm not even great at it, but I have a basis on it that I can work off of, which makes it looks good, or doing that in that sense. So yeah.
Any more passion projects you have like in your head in books right now that you're like, I need to get this itch out that you have?
I don't know about that. I'm a type of filmmaker director that as I said, and I keep on saying it, I love to experiment. I love to come up with new ways, and I love transitions. I have like this kind of idea of doing, but I'm not sure if, but it's just I like, it just came out, so I'm not sure if I can
Don't worry.
I have to build on it or something.
Don't worry. Yeah. I just want to know if we could expect more from you real soon, because I feel like the
Okay.
moment you get an itch, I feel like it's over.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you gotta, and like maybe
But
companies are gonna start hitting you up. Like they see, they're like, oh,
yeah,
maybe we
hey,
need to, you know.
once you're passionate about something and then you reach a level where, like I did with this video, and then it went viral, I think that's every filmmaker's like thing, that it's like a thank you to myself. And I've done videos, I've done efforts on a lot of different videos, but I've never had like people were proud of me for like, oh, you did an incredible video, but I've never had this feeling inside of myself where I was like, I'm proud of myself. But when I did this video, I was like, I had all this, as I said, these comments and all that. This was the first time in my life where I was like, yo, I'm proud of myself. It's
Wow.
and it's not saying that as I'm being very cocky, but I think it's nice for a person to be proud of themselves when they're like, look how far I've come. Like I started from filming with my camera to producing, like doing the things that I wanted to do, and producing like things like this. It's nice to be proud of yourself. It's nice to give yourself some credit. It's the first time I've had people inspired by something I did, which is such a nice thing to feel. It's such a beautiful feeling to have. Is people from these places telling me we're inspired by you. We love what you did. It's a masterpiece. Things like this give you a nice push to create more things. Because as I said, this was the biggest thing I've done in terms of how much effort I've put into a video. So once you have that from people, and it's a nice feeling. I love it, and hopefully to more projects as well, like that.